Yo, alright, it's gonna be super quick because your boy's got to go to the driving range. Played trains last night for locals. I thought a few weeks ago it was gonna be my last locals in my hometown before I move, and I got to go to one last night. And I decided I had to play trains. So I actually threw this together prior to the tournament. Like I've been traveling for like 3 weeks, so I've not been play testing or anything like at all. So I just kind of wanted to give it like one last hurrah. I might be able to squeeze one more in before I did, but we'll see. But yeah, so I just kind of had the gut feeling to play trains, so I threw this together. 40 cards, main. Again, like no real playtesting went into this. This is just kind of the build I wanted to play. It's a blind going second, as per usual, as it should be, and it just ended up working out pretty well. It wasn't like a crazy locals. I played solid round one against a newer, younger kid. I mean, he's all right, but like it just wasn't. It's fine. 2-0'd him, and then I played Zoo Eldritch round two. Shout out to Reese, his channel. I'll put that in the description. You should check him out. We had like a dispute on my Dimension Shifter. I'm retarded, and I just started playing the card. Dimension Shifter is broken though, but we'll get into that later. And so I played Zoo Eldritch round two and beat him, and then I played Mekhanite Pure round three, and we went to game three, but I ended up beating him. But he's a really solid player, so it was a good local, so it was fun. But regardless, let's go ahead and get into this. We were playing three Stampede or whatever the hell this guy, yeah, Ruffian, Pegasus. Um, Still just I don't know. You could play two, like if you're playing like Anchor Drill, like if you want to switch them out. But no, three Pegasus. I played one Cruncher, and then one Citadel. I just wanted to, this is kind of like my, oh, here, I guess we could do it like that. That's my normal summon lineup. I don't know. I felt like one Cruncher was solid. You can still technically do VFD plays, which I wasn't playing VFD last night. He's in the extra deck now just because. I'll explain that when we get to the extra deck, I suppose. But you can still technically do VFD plays if you're playing the one Cruncher. But I don't know. I just I don't have like a phenomenal explanation for this amount of normal summons. It just seemed optimal. I only wanted to play the one Cruncher, and it worked out well. Having the two Express Knights in deck just works well as far as like just ensuring that you typically have something to put on board to start off your normal summons. And then like a 40 card deck, 6 just seems like optimal enough that you'll open up at least one of them. And then we are playing the one Citadel. We're still playing 3 Derek Crane and 3 Bullet because I don't know how to deck build, so if these ratios were to ever be anything different, that would be news to me. But as far as I'm concerned, these are still the bread and butter of the deck, and very much still needed at 3 each, so get fucked. We're playing 2 Kaijus, the Dizakiru, Outing Dragoons. You could play 3, but I don't know, I felt like 2 was relatively good. You don't want to like open up too many of them. If you open up both, you can still give yourself a free level 10. It is still searchable with Urgent Schedule, so add it back with Bullet during your end phase if it's in Graveyard. All sorts of goodies. Rather than playing Infinitrax, I just opted to be basic and play hand traps, which worked out relatively well, I would say. But for the hand trap lineup, 2 Ash, 3 Gamma, and 3 Imperm. Nothing too crazy. Just kind of stuck to what I knew, and I know that Gamma's really good, and it's my favorite hand trap. And then Ash and Imperm just tend to be generic and good enough, and there's really not a reason that you can't squeeze them into most decks. I did play one skill drain in the main deck because I fucking can, and this is still my favorite trap card. So it won me. I guess it was just like kind of like a win more card, but I mean, I guess if you're upping like your Express Knight count and stuff, I don't know, it just turns everything into caveman YuGiOh, which is just so much fun, especially like when you're just cranking out 3,000, 4,000 bodies, and that's just what your deck is made to do. So I don't know. Going first, obviously you just draw this because it's your one of, and then you win. And then going second, if you don't OTK, you just set this and then you still win. But I played skill drain. You should too. Spells, 3 Switch Yard, 3 Urgent. Don't be a dick and play Mystic Mind, even though it's super broken in this deck. You don't need to do that. There's better people than that. Like just be a better person. So we just still played a 3 Switch Yard, triple Urgent, triple Tactics Talents, triple Tactics Talents, triple Cosmic, I was not playing Lightning Storms. I just felt like it's kind of being played around more and more. It's still like a blowout card. I actually put it in my side after kind of like revamping it a little bit last night. Uh, so I'm not saying Lightning Storm's not good. I'm just not playing it in the main currently. Uh, you very easily could play it in the main. I'm not going to even like remotely try and argue that card's insane. I just happened to not be playing it in the main last night. So if you can convince me to play it in the main, then by all means, it's probably not going to be that hard to do. And then I play 2 Desires and 1 Monster Reborn. Just I, this could be a 3rd Desire. It doesn't matter. Like, it's a 40 card deck. Do with it what you will. This is just what I played because, you know, that's what I played. 2 Anger Knuckle. It was actually, I think, my first time playing one. Okay, so the VFD and Omega, I was playing, like I said, I made this before locals, and I was pulling out like Infinitrack cards and everything, and I actually had Goliath, I think is the Link 1 Infinitrack, and then River Stormer. I had both of those in my extra deck last night, and I wasn't playing any of the Infinitrack package, so before making this profile, I was like, okay, well, what are 2 more optimal cards that I'd be able to put in, because there's no point in showing that in the profile. So I swapped those 2 cards out for Omega and VFD. So I was not playing these cards last night, but they just make way more sense. And like, I mean, how when you with like what are they called, Dogmatica cards, you can just send whatever you want with Omega and just return it back, so you're not like really losing anything. You can also make it with a Gamma package, and then VFD, you have access to VFD plays with Metal Cruncher, so you might as well play it, even though I fucking hate the card. I think it's degenerate. So we were playing 2 Anger Knuckle. I'm actually gonna leave that one there just because I fucking love that misprint. I think it's so clean. You typically only need 1, but there's no. I mean, I've got space to play 2, so play 2. 1 Ballista, 1 Pentastag, and 1 BLS. I did not make any of these last night, as you typically don't, but they are typically like the go-to utility cards. Ballista allows you to OTK any over 1 monster. Pentastag allows you to do piercing, and then BLS is just like the best generic Link 3 in my opinion that you can easily utilize his effects because everything you use is level 10 or higher. And he's just like a really problematic card, especially for like Eldritch and stuff to out if you boost him up and get him to like 4,500. So that's it for the links, and then we'll see the Omega and the VFD because just utility. We're still playing the 1 Sky Palace King Gudai. How the fuck? What am I doing? I swear to God, living with autism is like the hardest. I don't actually have it, but I'm waiting for my parents to tell me that I do. 1 Sky Thunder Zeus. This card is the shit. It was good in Tri Brigade Zoo. I loved this card last night. It was my first time like actually playing it in the deck, and it just put in so much work. It's so stupid. If I get a second one, I'll probably put it in here too. But for now, I mean, like the 1 just kind of gets you there. And then I shouldn't even have to like go over this part with you guys by now. But you know, 2 Gustav, 2 Dora, 2 Lieb. I don't know. Playing. We fucked around with an idea in a group chat, like our Discord group chat for trains, but I want to do Gustav Turbo, where you just like find a way to, like, you'd have to use like Infinitrack Tunneler or whatever, but where you just, like, there was that old FTK deck where it was like the Elemental Hero, Electrum, or whatever the guys, where you just looped this 4 times, but I want to do like a train version where you can actually just make this card 4 times in 1 turn, and you'd have to be able to shuffle it back with Tunneler, which is the Infinitrack Pot of Avarice, but play 3 Gustav Max, or that will be the future of trains whenever I figure out how to do that. But right now, we'll play 2. The side deck, this has definitely changed around a little bit from last night, but this is what we're working with going forward, in my opinion. But and by that I mean until the next time I play locals. Dimension Shifter I tried out last night, and this was fucking insane. I have learned that you just shotgun this, like if you're going first or second. Typically, like, just on your opponent's draw phase. If you're going first, like if you already have your door set up, you just drop this and it buys you a turn. The problem is, it's until obviously your end phase. So, like your bullet, Derek, like all that stuff is going away. But if you can survive off of it, or like lock your opponent out, that's all you need typically to OTK. It works insanely well. Like I dropped it on a Zoo Eldritch player, and then he had his board established, and then I went into Zeus and wiped everything, and it was all banished, which is just like insane resource disruption because that cuts them off of their grind game immensely. So I don't know. tried this out last night. Obviously, it's got huge drawbacks against your own deck because your own grind game and a lot of your resource management is based around your graveyard. So that is one thing to keep in mind. But as far as blowout cards go and trying something new, I was definitely very impressed with this and did enjoy it. Let's get this the fuck out of the way. So we played one red reboot, swapped out something for that Imperial Order. Oh, I played 3 Artifact Lancias last night, but I took those out, and so now I've got kind of some stuff moved around. But these are just like 3 1-ofs that I'm playing. It seems decent. Like Imperial Orders are going first card, and then these are just blowout going second cards for back row. Forbidden Chalice, it's trains, you should already know it's going to be in here. It's fantastic working with my own cards, and then like blocking out things like VFD and just problematic cards. I still am a pretty big proponent of this card. I did just put these in this morning. Dark Roller Remorse and Lightning Storms. Just, I mean, if you're going second, like locking out huge boards, and then, like I said, I wasn't playing these last night in the main or side, but I opted just to throw them in. These could be, I mean, any form of hand traps. I mean, like I said, I was playing Lancias last night, DD, Crow, Droll, and Lockbird. I mean, what have you. It's just how interactive do you want to be on your opponent's turn versus how many blowout cards do you want to open. And that's kind of where I'm like differentiating right now. I mean, there's really no right or wrong way to play it, in my opinion. We're going into a very, very control oriented format, I would like to think. So I mean, just being able to like blow out those back row oriented decks, I think, is really important. So that's what we're working with right now. I don't really think there's really too much more to go over. Like I said, I haven't really been playtesting or anything too much like crazy. So yeah, like I said, 40 card main, and that's pretty much it. Like, I gotta get going. I gotta hit the driving range with the boys. So everyone, Merry Christmas. Thank you, everyone. I guess it's like stuck with me throughout the year. Channel's been growing well. I appreciate everyone that calls me out on my bullshit, and I've learned a lot from it. So Happy New Year's, everyone. Probably next upload will probably be next year. So I will see you fuckheads next year, and take it easy.